Hello everyone. Hello everyone. This is a continuation of my video, my last video, which was called Evaluate the Spouse and Lovers Through Astrology. This is a continuation of that video, so I strongly encourage you to watch that video first, because I'm going to use the techniques outlined in that video to show you some examples of how you can ascertain someone's spouse or their lovers. In this video, I use the examples of Madonna, Eleanor Roosevelt, and John Lennon. Just because we know so much about these people, they're famous, and they really do illustrate the techniques quite well. So yeah, and I just wanted to mention, if you like my videos, please press the like button, and if you enjoy watching them, please subscribe. Okay, so now on to our charts. Okay, so here we have Madonna, Madonna's chart. And you know, you can find the birth data all on astro.com and plug it in here. But Madonna's really a good example because, well, just because she's super famous and most of us know her life pretty well. As you know, Madonna married a foreigner, and Guy Ritchie, he's a director, a British director, and she married Sean Penn, who's an actor. And she also had a child with a Cuban trainer, or her personal trainer. He's Cuban. So so we see here, okay, here's Madonna's ascendant in Virgo, and her seventh house is Pisces. And so the seventh lord is Jupiter, and Jupiter is conjoined Rahu. Rahu gives foreigners, okay? So her seventh lord is influenced by foreigners pretty strongly. So that translates into her marrying a foreigner, which it was Guy Ritchie, okay? She also has Mercury and the moon aspecting her seventh house cusp very strongly as well. Mercury is actors, okay? Mercury is one of those planets, according to Jaimini, that rules actors. And moon, according to Jaimini, the moon makes the person good looking. So, you know, I don't know, I think Sean Penn is above average, or he used to be, above average in looks, and Guy Ritchie certainly so. So, and then, you know, the guy that she, and her lovers, I'm sure, were all, you know, above average in looks. So, because she was so famous. And she could pick and choose. So that is, that really shows in her birth chart. Now, her Dara Karaka is Venus. Venus is the planet in the lowest degrees in a sign. It's only in 32 seconds here in Leo. Okay, so Venus is a Dara Karaka. Venus is entertainment. Jaimini specifically says that Venus is entertainment, or that's one of the things. It can also rule over luxuries and in some instances teaching. So here in the Navamsha, this square down here, this is the 9th divisional chart. Navamsha is the chart of marriage. She has the Dara Karaka with the moon again, making her lovers and her husbands good looking. Okay. And then she has Saturn in the 7th house, or conjoined the 7th cusp in her Navamsha. Now, she hasn't married anybody that's been over 7 years older than her. And as far as I know, neither of those guys had really serious health problems or were lame, meaning crippled. And neither of them were ascetics, which is kind of like marrying a monk or something, or a nun. But Madonna, you know, she could still get married again. So, I mean, you know, she's relatively young. So I'm sure she would probably get married again, because partnership is something else that is prevalent in her chart. So she'll probably get married again, and one of those 3 conditions may apply. She might marry somebody more than 7 years older than her, or somebody who will develop very serious health problems. So yeah, this is Madonna's, her chart, her birth chart, and her Navamsha and in her Saptamsha. In the Saptamsha, the 7th Lord is Venus, as is the Dharakaraka. There really isn't much there, just saying that they're entertainment. The 7th from her Atmakaraka is Jupiter. There's really nothing there, but the moon is aspecting, and Venus is aspecting, and Mars is aspecting. So the moon makes somebody good looking, Venus and somebody in entertainment. Mars gives somebody, according to Jaimini, with impaired limbs, which, you know, as far as I know, isn't the case, but Mars also can rule exercise and working out, which is who that guy, she married, or didn't marry him, but she had a daughter with her personal trainer. Okay, so Madonna's a really good example. Oh, and then let's look at the 7th from Jupiter, her Atmakaraka, and in the Navamsha is Ketu. It's also that way. Her Atmakaraka is Jupiter here. The 7th from there is Ketu, so she has it twice. Ketu, Jaimini doesn't say anything about Ketu, but Ketu is causes separation because it completes karmas. It finishes up karmas. So whenever I see Ketu in one of these positions, I always make the prediction of divorce or separation. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so Madonna. Next is Eleanor Roosevelt. I know that's Madonna too. Okay, Eleanor Roosevelt. Eleanor Roosevelt married FDR. And as you know, he developed polio while they were married, and he was confined to a wheelchair. So here's Eleanor Roosevelt's ascendant in Sagittarius. In the 7th house, joining the 7th house cusp, is Saturn. Saturn makes a person lame or crippled, okay? He wasn't 7 years older, or more than 7 years older, and he was not an ascetic. He was the President of the United States. So it satisfies the requirement. Saturn makes a person lame or crippled or with very serious health problems. So there is one. Okay, now the 7th Lord is Mercury, and the Dharakaraka is Mercury. So Mercury rules this. Now, Mercury is here with Rahu and the Sun. Okay, this is very important. Before he became president, FDR was a lawyer. He worked in corporate law, and that's what he studied in college. And according to Jaimini, the sun makes a person a politician. Okay, so the sun with Mercury, that's the 7th Lord and the Dharaka both. So it's really influencing this Mercury. It made him a politician, and in this case, the President of the United States. Now, Rahu. Well, he wasn't a foreigner, obviously, but he was in love with someone else. And that's one of the things that Rahu can give. He can either make the person a foreigner or a widow, or make them in love with someone else. Now, he wasn't in love with someone else when they got married, but he fell in love with her secretary, and they had a very long affair until she found out about it. He had many affairs, actually, but it was really the secretary named Lucy that he fell in love with, and they got back together after a separation. So yeah, so that's all really prevalent in her birth chart. In her Navamsha, the 7th house cusp is conjoined Venus and Rahu. Okay, so in a previous video, I was talking about how Venus, Rahu, either in the Navamsha, in the Rashi, or the birth chart, or the 7th house divisional chart, this chart up here, can make a person have affairs. Now, it's been rumored that she also had affairs. And it's even been rumored there were lesbian affairs. I don't know if that's true or not. So there's never been anything that's actual proof, but that's what it does show in a lot of people. Okay, so Rahu is there again, conjoined the 7th house cusp. So he was having an affair with her secretary. And then let's see, Jupiter. Okay, so there's nothing really in the 7th from Jupiter. And yeah, that's it. So Eleanor Roosevelt, all in all, can very much show the person she married and a lot of details about the person she married. Okay, so moving on, John Lennon. Okay, just so you know, John Lennon's Atmakaraka is the sun. The sun makes a person a singer, okay, according to Jaimini, or a politician. It really has to do with the house placements influencing and conjoining the sun, the house lords, and those kinds of things. And then also the Atmakaraka is in the 7th house. The 7th house is the house of the public. So obviously John Lennon was extremely involved with the public. So I just wanted to point that out really quickly. But anyway, so John Lennon's ascendant is Aries, and his 7th house has Rahu, which is a foreigner. The sun, which is a singer. Yoko was a singer, and Yoko was also a foreigner. And Mars. Now, I don't know if Yoko has any type of impaired limbs. And also, John was married before to Cindy, I believe her name was, and she was British, just like John, but you know, she could have had something wrong with one of her limbs. I really don't know. It's really hard to research something like that, because the person can have, you know, they can dislocate their shoulder or break their fingers or something like that, and you would never know that's documented, you know, because that's just something that's getting into it a little bit too much detail. But sometimes you can. I haven't really found anything on Cindy that much. So, but yeah, you can really see in John Lennon's chart Yoko Ono right here, just with the sun and Rahu. Okay, and then, all right, go down here to the Navamsha. This is the 7th divisional chart. Look at this. Saturn is in the 7th house, or conjoined the 7th house cusp of the Navamsha. Yoko was more than 7 years older than John. She was actually 7.5 years older than John. Yeah. And then let's see. There's nothing in the 7th from his Atmakaraka. And then again, Mars is his 7th lord in his Navamsha. That is in Libra. It really doesn't, we don't really see anything. It is the Darakaraka. So I don't know, you know, about his first wife. I really don't know that much about her. So, and then let's go to Venus. Venus, always look at Venus in a man's chart. Even though it might not be the 7th lord. In this case, it's the 7th lord in his Rashi chart, so it's pretty important. So Venus is here with Rahu, and Rahu again is a foreigner, so you can see that John married a foreigner. Okay, now in the Saptamsha, the 7th house has the moon, Jupiter, and Saturn. So one of them is Yoko, because she was more than 7 years older. Then you have the moon and Jupiter, which make for really beautiful women. Obviously, it was the most, one of the most famous bands, and you know, of all time. And they were being chased by groupies left and right. So I'm sure that, you know, he probably had some affairs with some of the models at the time, or, you know, whatever it was. That isn't too hard to figure out, especially with, you know, rock singers or any kind of singer, really. So, yeah, so that really shows up in John. Yeah, so these are how some of the techniques work. In my next video, I'm going to talk about relationship capacity and how you can see the types of people that are good in relationships and the types of people who are not. There's some definite techniques to see this. I mean, you know, people who are you know, they have some type of quirks. They may have a personality disorder, you know, they may be highly bipolar, and they just, some of these people will tell me, I can't stand myself when I'm in a relationship. I just want to pull my hair out. Some people just aren't made for relationships. They just aren't, and it causes them a lot more stress than it does happiness. And some people do very well in relationships, and I'm going to show you how to see this. Of course, you know, people who are sociopaths or psychopaths, obviously they're probably not going to do very well in relationships, but that's something different. And I really want to talk about that as well coming up, you know, in a few weeks or something after I finish up with the relationship astrology. Where there's a lot of, or not a lot, but there's a few yogas for mental illness. And you can see to a certain extent if someone is, you know, overly egotistical or kind of a sociopath or just a plain flat out psychopath. So yeah, we'll do that in a couple of weeks, which should be fun. I love looking at, you know, these kind of people. I used to analyze a lot of serial killers charts, and you know, there's definitely some things you can see. Which is, it's really crazy, you know, how when somebody is pulled into this world and takes their first breath and the planets are in a certain position that causes this, you know, or they didn't really cause it, but the person breathed for the first time when these planets were, you know, making these negative aspects. But anyway, okay, so that's a different video. Okay, so thank you for watching, and until next time. And oh, if you like my videos, please press the like button, and if you enjoy watching them, please subscribe to my channel. Okay, thanks.